hits hard and the lights shine bright. There's a show every week that just feels right. Pep got the mic in the inland pride, breaking down plays with that hometown vibe. From Friday Night Live to the college game flow, you know it's real when Pep says go. It's the Inland Sports Show, stories come alive. Rivalries grow all week long, alright. Inland Sports, yeah, we're repping the IE, of course. Inland Sports, and Fernandez runs the show. Let's go! From hoops on the hardwood to the gridiron grind, Pep's calling out highlights you won't find online. Coaches, players, legends dropping one by one, talking victories hard and how seasons begin. Bridge city to city, from riverside to the past, fans tune in cause the moments don't last. It's the Inland Sports Show, stories come alive. Rivalries grow all week long, alright. Inland Sports, yeah, we're repping the IE, of course. Inland Sports, Pep Fernandez.
And what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified here on Wednesday night. Another good show coming up your way in just a moment. We're going to check in with the star swimmer from Murrieta Valley High School and your two-time CIF Southern Section Division II 50 Freestyle champion, Kaylee Richmond. She gets ready for the CIF State meet up in Clovis. We're going to hear from Kaylee in a second. We also have Temescal Canyon softball in our second segment. We break down a little bit of the CIF Southern Section baseball and softball playoffs. In fact, Division I for baseball already started. We had 4 local teams in D1. Great first round on Tuesday. We'll tell you about that as well. Also, we're going to talk about Aquinas boys swimming, your CIF Southern Section Division IV team champions. We're going to hear from them. We'll talk a little bit about CBU softball, your Western Athletic Conference champions getting ready for the NCAA tournament and to face UCLA again. They faced the Bruins already once about a month ago here in Riverside. It was a home game at Funk Stadium. They're going to play them again in the LA Regional and some CBU baseball as well. So make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not done so already. And if you're a local business or organization, you'd like to support the show and support local sports and the positive stories that we want to share with everybody out there across the IE, hit us up. You can just send us a message on social media, or the email is inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. All right, first, we're going to hop in the pool. We just had the CIF Southern Section Championships. We got the state meet coming up in Clovis. And one of our local swimmers that will be up there trying to win a state title is Kaylee Richmond from Murrieta Valley. Inland Sports. Let's rewind back to Mount Sac, the Division II 50 Freestyle Finals. Kaylee Richmond won this race as a freshman last year. Well, she's gone back-to-back. She came back as a sophomore and did it again. Your two-time 50-yard free D2 Southern Section champion. What a great start to her high school career, and it's really just still getting started. We caught up with Kaylee Richmond following our Bass Athletics Play of the Week, winning the D2 title, and next up, taking aim on Clovis. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show, and fresh off a CIF Southern Section Division II 50 Freestyle Championship, it is Kaylee Richmond from Murrieta Valley High School. Kaylee, first off, congratulations winning the D2 title in the 50 free. That is back-to-back years that you have won this event. Do you get to appreciate it? Can you stand back a little bit and just kind of appreciate what you've been able to do in your first couple of years with the Nighthawks?
Yeah, I'm super excited because even coming in as a freshman, I got to experience CIF for the first time and getting to win the 50 and 100 and then going to state. It was it was an amazing experience. And then this year, obviously, too. And then I'm excited for this week for state.
So winning the D2 title in the Southern Section last year in the 50 free, did you feel like coming back this year, was there more pressure? Did you feel like, hey, I can't slip up. I've got to do it again. I can't take a step back. I got to take another step forward. I mean, what was your expectation, at least going into this season?
I definitely wanted to do the same thing and win both events. I was hoping to win both, and just kind of improve my times. And I have the school record in the 50, 100, and 200 right now. And I really wanted to beat that record this year. I haven't done that just yet, but I'm hoping I can get it at this next meet. I don't know. That's my goal for this meet.
So between the 50 and the 100, and I'll throw the 200 in there, but between the 50 and the 100, what do you feel like is your strongest event if you had to pick one?
Definitely the 100. I think it's more strategy, in my opinion. I feel I can race it better and I have more time to really get into the race and be able to race the people around me, rather than the 50s just so fast. There's not much time to think. So
what do you think about right before a big race? Or do you try not to think about anything and just kind of lock in and just kind of, slow everything down and be quiet, to yourself? I mean, what's going through your mind before you take that dive in?
I usually try to just focus on the beep, even before, just think of, okay, nothing else matters right now. Just that beep. And then I'm in the water and I'm racing. And one thing that's helped me is before I go up to the blocks, I kind of think I've done this so many times and I have to trust my training and know that I am prepared and realize that I am ready for this. And I kind of just have to show that now.
Where do you think your strengths are? Is it the turn? Is it the start? Is it the final 25? I mean, what do you feel like you're your best at?
I think around the last 15 yards of the whole race, because I think that's when I realized that okay, now I'm done and now I have to just put my head down and just finish as fast as I can and just be done with the race, basically.
So with the 50 freestyle, at least, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's a sprint. I mean, you go down, touch the wall, and you're heading back, and that's it. There's not a lot of room for error, right? Muscle memory, I'm sure, is kicking in, and just, I don't know, drive or the will to want to win. I mean, what do you think is the key to getting a win in the D2 50 freestyle?
I think you have to just lock in so hard and just focus. Well, there's just so many different things that go into the race. I feel like the tempo and the underwaters and fast turns and all this stuff. And I think the main thing is to just like race your own race. Like, don't worry about anyone around you. And I've kind of learned that like through racing at like big meets, is that you can't focus on the people around you and what they're doing because you have no control over that. Like, you only have control over yourself and how you're racing. So I think it's just like stay in your own body and just focus on yourself. And that's all you can do.
But how tempting is it? I mean, I'm not a swimming expert, but I'm assuming it's tempting that you just take a quick little peek, right? To see what's going on around you, right?
Yeah, very. And I get caught up in that a lot. Just like, because I mean, I love to race. And I think that's like why I do love this sport so much, because I just love like the competitiveness of it. But sometimes I think I need to just, forget that like there's people next to me, because I mean, yes, to race them, obviously, but like at the end of the day, it's like, it's my race and it's, my body. So
let's say, Kaylee, hypothetically, you win a race, you set a new PR, you say you break a school record, but you don't finish in first. Is that still successful in your eyes?
Yeah, it's very successful, because like I do care about the placing and all that, but it's just to know that like I bettered myself, and I, like just know that all the hard work that I've been putting in at practice has paid off, and I can see that through the times. And even if I don't drop or win, like when I feel good in the race, like that's such an accomplishment. And like that is a big part, just the feeling of the race itself.
So going into the CIF state meet up in Clovis later this week, what would you kind of define success? What would that look like to you? Do you have to be a CIF state champion this year? Can you finish, top 3, top 5? I mean, what does that look like for you?
Definitely. So I want to make the A final in prelims. And then I think that's top 8 or 9, one of them. And then for finals, I would love to be top 3. I know I can do it. Like, I know it's possible. I just have to really just not get in my head about it too much, not stress about it, and just go and race and know what I know what I need to do. So I think I want to go best time. So definitely a PR would be very nice. But probably just placing high and within the girls. Yeah.
So Kaylee, to get to this point, to be a multi-CIF Southern Section champion, to qualify for the CIF state meet, I know, swim is a grind. I mean, your mom was saying you were down in Orange County, training, and you hustle back, and I'm sure you got homework. I mean, how hard is it to be an elite swimmer like this and balance everything that it takes, going to school and training and homework and going, I'm sure, to meets on the weekends, when you're not even in season, when you're doing like the club thing? I mean, how hard is it to balance everything?
It definitely is hard, just waking up and, being at school for a long time. And then I have to get in the car, drive to Irvine. And it's like about an hour drive, practice, and then come back, homework, eat, and try and go to bed on time. Like, it's a lot. And it gets a little hard to balance sometimes. But I kind of learned to like set like time limits for everything. Like, just be like very productive when I can, because there's not a lot of time. So like I try and get my homework done like at school, or just as fast as I can when I get home and stuff. So yeah.
So Kaylee, how did you first get started in swimming? Did your parents swim? Do you have a sibling, that swam? I mean, how did you, or they just throw you in the pool and see if you liked it? Well,
so I have an older brother who he was trying to surf. And he like wasn't very good at swimming. So like his instructor told him that he needs to go to swim lessons. So my mom put both of us in, and like they kind of realized that like he was really good at the racing part, but I had like good technique. So when we moved out here, we like joined this club nearby us. I was 5 and my brother was 7. And then we just kept going. Like, we loved it so much. And, here we are now.
That's really cool. Who do you look up to in the swim world? Is there a swimmer that you look up to, idolize, maybe kind of mimic the way you swim or strategize as a swimmer? I mean, is there someone that you look up to like that?
I would say Gretchen Walsh is like a big one because I love watching her swim and I like trying to like critique myself and like copy what she does in the water. Cause we swim, the 100 free she swims and that's like one of her best events. So I like try to relate to her in that way. And just like even like as a person, just like how she is around people, like she's super respectful and like, like grateful for everything and stuff like that. So I would definitely say her.
All right, Kaylee. So, the shorter sprints, the 50 and the 100. I don't know if you saw the show. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. We had Ava and Dash Deanda from Riverside Poly, and I was asking them about, how do you? I mean, Dash is more of a distance guy, right? The 200 and the 500. But like, how do you narrow down like what events are best for you? Have you tried like everything, and maybe a coach kind of pointed you in the right direction and say, "Hey, Kaylee, your sprints, you're better at, shorter distances, freestyle, forget about the breaststroke, backstroke, you need to do freestyle." I mean, how did you narrow down to these events to know that you're going to have the most success in these ones?
Well, I tried like doing all the events and stuff. And I used to be good at like breaststroke and butterfly, and like free was like pretty good from the start, I'd say. And then as I got older, I just like could not do any other stroke anymore. And it kind of just went down to freestyle. And then my coaches always told me like I have a really strong pull in the water. So we kind of decided that like sprinting would be like perfect for that kind of thing. So
well, it's working out, obviously that was the right choice. It's working out for you. Kaylee, last question here as you get ready for the CIF state meet. What do you think is the most crucial thing that you have to do to place well at state? I mean, what's the secret ingredient? What do you think is the most important thing? Maybe it's sleep, maybe it's eating right, maybe it's like you said, don't get in your head too much and don't overthink it. I mean, what do you think is the most important thing that you got to do so you're successful at the CIF state meet?
I think it's just being mentally prepared. Like the mental part of the sport is so huge and important. And I think it would just be like relaxing a little bit before I race and, getting everything, like any negative thoughts out of my head, and just like, again, like remembering, that like my training will pay off and like it's worth it all kind of thing. And then just, putting my head down and racing. So.
And Kaylee, I would assume, post high school is the big goal, college scholarship, maybe the Olympics. I mean, what's kind of, your future look like in this sport?
College for sure. Mm-hmm. Recruiting starts in about a month. So I'm actually really excited for that. And then I was really close to my Olympic trials like a little while back. And that's like my big goal. I just want to make it there, and whatever happens there happens. But I would say like just getting there is like a big, big dream for me.
That's awesome. Well, first things first, Kaylee, good luck this week at the CIF State Meet. Congratulations on back-to-back Division II Southern Section titles in the 50 freestyle. Really appreciate you hopping on the Inland Sports Show, and best of luck up in Clovis this week.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. That's Kaylee Richmond from Murrieta Valley High School here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. All right, good luck to Kaylee and all of our local swimmers heading up to Clovis for the CIF State Meet prelims on Friday and the championship race and the consolation race for each event coming up on Saturday as well. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, let's see. We're going to check in with the Temescal Canyon softball team. We got Coach Kayla Hill. We got Jessenia Moore, the star pitcher in the circle for the Titans. We got Nia Hall as well, the catcher for Temescal. We're going to talk about the big Division I softball bracket. Murrieta, Mesa, and Norco are on opposite ends. Will they meet in the finals? We'll also break down some high school baseball as well, because Division I baseball, the first round is already in the books. And we've had some mixed results for our local teams, with Corona and Norco picking up some big dramatic wins in their opening game. So still a lot to get to, and Aquinas boys swim and some CBU softball and baseball as well. So we'll be right back on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. Visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
If you can give one piece of advice to young athletes, what would it be?
Take your academics just as serious as you take, even more serious than you take your athletic development. Learn different skills. Don't just train all day, learn to play the piano, learn an instrument, and have some hobbies. Invest in rest. It's all about being well balanced. And I think a lot of times student athletes, they don't realize how acquiring other skills translate to sports and what they want to do. It all adds up. Being someone that takes care of their responsibilities, takes care of business, it's all the same skill set. So build some other skill sets, make sure you get your rest.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in live and amplified here every single Wednesday night. We're going to talk some high school softball and baseball in this segment. We're going to start with the Temescal Canyon softball team last year in Division I. I don't know if you want to say they came from out of nowhere, but they had a great D1 run to get to the semifinals. Very tough bracket, the toughest bracket in America. Well, this year they're in Division II, and D2 is also very tough. A lot of good teams. In fact, they're going to open up with Aquinas in their opening round Division II game, so that's a tough one right there. But Coach Kayla, Jessenia Moore, Nia Hall joined us here on the Inland Sports Show to talk about their Mountain Pass League title this year and going into the Division II playoffs. Jessenia Moore is a senior, Nia's a junior, but there's a lot of underclassmen playing significant roles on this team for Temescal Canyon. So we'll see if they can put together a championship run in Division II, just like they did last year in Division I, getting to the semifinals, beating some really good teams to get to that point. That was great experience for this Temescal Canyon softball team. So without further ado, Temescal Canyon softball right now on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we get you all set for the CIF Southern Section playoffs coming up later this week. We're going to stop by Temescal Canyon High School and check in with the Titans softball team. We got Coach Hill. We got Jessenia Moore, the star pitcher in the circle. We got Nia Hall, her battery mate, the catcher for this Temescal team. And Coach, first let me ask you, I mean, it's been another great year. You guys have great years after season at Temescal Canyon on the softball diamond. But as you go into the playoffs, what do you think made this year's team kind of special or unique or different, would you say?
I think for sure this year is last year we had a young group and we really only lost one senior. And so coming back with our exact same group mostly was pretty strong for us. We've had Jess in the circle. She took us really far in CIF last year. And then being able to have our strong core group that were sophomores last year who are now juniors. And then we've had a few sophomores really step up this year. So being able to have that same group come in and dominate this year again, I think was the biggest thing for us.
Hey, Coach Hill, what about your non-league schedule? How did that prepare you for a postseason run in Division II?
I think it's important for us as a coaching staff to kind of give that strength of schedule because our league doesn't give us that as much. And so being able to kind of go against the Mesas and the Norcos and the Chinos, the outcomes weren't what we wanted, but it was purposeful to get in that good competition to set us up for playoffs.
All right, Coach, I'm going to circle back to you, but let me go to Jessenia Moore there on the center of the screen. And Jessenia, it's been a great year for Temescal Canyon, and Division II is obviously very tough. But just for a moment, I mean, going back to last year, being Division I and getting to the semifinals, how do you feel like maybe that experience of making a playoff run against literally the best teams in the entire country, how do you think that maybe can help the team this year just going through that experience?
I think it helped us bond a lot and we kind of matured together because last year we had Natalie and she kind of took the leader role, but now we have a bunch of leaders and then everyone's just taking over and holding each other accountable. So I think that's what made us closer.
How do you think it's beneficial that you guys have so many returning players like Coach Hill just alluded to? I mean, there's not a whole lot of seniors on this year's team. You're one of the few, and then there's a lot of players that came back from last year's team. That's a lot of great experience going up against some of the best teams out there. How do you think that experience is going to help you guys maybe, be able to string together and stack some wins and make a CIF championship run?
I think it makes the pressure non-existent it kind of made us start with the top teams and then going to these teams, which are probably just as hard, but going to them, it just makes us feel better and we're prepared and we're preparing at practice and everything. But yeah.
All right, Jessenia, when you are locked in the circle, it might be kind of hard to put into words, but what does it feel like? Do you know, from that first pitch or when you're warming up, man, I'm feeling it today. It's going to be a good day. Or maybe it's the flip side. Say, I'm going to have to really lock in because I am not feeling it today. I'm going to have to really, work with Nia behind the plate and make sure I throw a good game.
Usually I can just tell just from the vibes of the team and how everything's going. And no matter what, we always have fun. So it's just day by day, inning by inning.
All right, Jessenia, let me go to your right on the screen left. Nia now. Nia Hall, the catcher for Temescal. And Nia, let me ask you, catching Jessenia and the other pitchers on the staff, I mean, what's it like knowing that you have some dominant pitchers in the circle? As your role as the catcher, what are you helping them to do?
I just feel like so much confidence in all my pitchers. You know, I know they'll get the job done, and even if they are struggling, I always know that I'm there to help them out whenever they need it. And yeah, I just love my pitchers so much.
Now, Nia, this team is young, but they do have a lot of experience, right? You know, having gone back to last year and the teams that you had to play and this season as well. So do you feel like in a certain way, you guys might be young on the roster, but do you feel like as softball players, you're kind of like veterans or you're seasoned, you know, because you've played such great competition and you've gone up against some really good teams?
Yeah, for sure. Even having, you know, like Jessenia from like my freshman year, like I feel like super comfortable with her and stuff. And even last year, like we basically have the same team as last year, just losing one person. So I think that just gives me and a lot of the girls confidence because we know what we can do for each other. We know like our strengths, we know our weaknesses. So I think it's very beneficial to us. And I almost think like it gives us a one up versus other teams and stuff. So yeah.
All right, Nia, so you guys went to the Division I semifinals last year, which is unbelievable. The toughest playoff bracket in America, I would say. But Division II is not far off either. You guys are Division II this season, and there's a bunch of great teams out there in the bracket. You guys will open up against Aquinas. What do you feel like as a team? What do you feel like Temescal Canyon has to do well to make a playoff run? What do you guys have to do as a team very well?
I think we have to go into this knowing that we got this. You know, I feel like last season we came in knowing that we were the underdogs. So we kind of came with that. We kind of ran with it, right? Like every game we were like, we have nothing to lose. We have to just keep going, keep fighting. And I feel like this year, since we are top seed, we almost have to bring that same energy from last season and bring it into this, even though we aren't the underdogs. We know what the underdogs of Division II bracket will feel like because that was us last season with Division I. So I think we just need to take that same energy from last season and just run with it.
Nia, that's a great point, and I'm going to go back to Coach Kayla Hill over here about that. I mean, you're right. I mean, Division I, you were the hunted, right? Like you're like, oh my gosh, you know, like, you know, you make it to the semifinals, and in fact, I think you had like back-to-back shutout wins. I think like in the second round and the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals. I mean, you guys, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but I think you were surprising some teams. But in Division II this year, do you feel like maybe the target is more on your back this season in terms of, you know, teams like Aquinas, whoever else in the bracket is going to be like, hey, we got to get past Temescal Canyon if we're going to get to the championship?
Right. I think that's exactly it. Last year, just like Neo was saying, we were talking about it as a team. We went in, like she said, as the underdog. So we had nothing to lose. This year, everyone is coming in ready to beat us and wanting to beat us and coming out with their best game. And so I feel like, just like you said, it did come out of nowhere. Nobody expected us to be there. And so the fact that we kept going, that's what kept us going, is that nobody expected us to be there. Nobody thought we should be in the semifinals or even in Division I, let alone. So I think that's what fueled the girls. And so being in Division II this year, definitely, yeah, our goal was to be Division I, but the fact that we were in Division II is like, now we know we're capable of it. Like Jessenia said, we saw the competition last year in Division I. This year it's going to be just as good, and we know they could make a run for a title for sure.
All right, Coach, let's do a little name dropping. Obviously, Jessenia and Nia are two of your studs on the team, but let's do a little name dropping. Who are some of the other players that have had big seasons for the Titans this year?
I think for sure, like I was saying earlier, is that we've had two sophomores step up. One of our seniors, Michaela Riggs, she was our starting third baseman. She is battling an injury. And so we had sophomore Reagan Pickens actually step up and play third for us, which has been huge. And then another one of our sophomores, Roslyn Venegas, she actually took on a role that she has not played before, first base. It was funny because I'll give my husband, Coach Hill, credit where credit's due, but we were talking about in the beginning of the season, we weren't really getting into too much of a groove at the top of the lineup. Like, we weren't doing bad, but we weren't getting into the groove that we wanted them to get into. So we were like, why don't we move Nia up to the leadoff spot? And so she was always our 4 hitter. The fact that he was like, let's move her up. She always gets on base. And we were like, okay, now we have a runner for her. And now we have someone consistently on base. Well, going back to Rosalind, she ended up moving up into our 4 slot, which she has just like taken it by the wheels and gone with it. It's been great for both of them to step up. Another few of our key players, Brea Tillery, she's our shortstop. She's been doing great. It's been nice to have those Brea and all of our current juniors. They were sophomores last year. So the fact that they are now, I would say, with Jessenia and the rest of the juniors are seasoned veterans, like you asked them. I feel like they are seasoned veterans with a few younger underclassmen that have really stepped up to their role this year.
And Coach, going back to Rosalind for a second, she's a sophomore and batting .548. Is that correct? Like,
yes.
Obviously, she's not playing like a sophomore. What do you think that says about your team that, throw the age or the grade out the window? You feel like you could just plug in a sophomore at the cleanup spot, and she's hitting over 500, which is unbelievable. That's incredible.
Right. As a coach, that's all we asked for. Rosalind is a very coachable and willing kid. And so the fact that she was able to step into that first baseman role and just take it, which was really awesome for the team. We've had great upperclassmen for her to look up to. And so I think that says a lot about what the upperclassmen bring to the team, is that she's learning from them, which then lead to what's going on now on our team.
That's awesome. And Coach, I did want to ask you, your husband, Derek, are you guys co-head coaches? Is that how it works out?
Yeah, that's how it works out.
So is it like offense, defense, hitting, pitching, or how do you guys kind of distribute the responsibilities?
Coach.
Maybe I should ask Nia. Nia's over there laughing.
Yeah.
I think maybe she knows.
Maybe ask girls. What would you guys say?
All right, Nia, what would you say? And Jessenia also.
I would say Coach Hill. Okay, like splitting up on defense, Coach Hill definitely works with the outfielders more, and then Coach Kayla's definitely with the infield. Yeah, and I feel like hitting is just kind of neutral, like both of them.
Okay. How about you, Jessenia? Do you see it the same way?
Yeah, but she definitely makes the plan and she sticks to it. Oh yeah. She runs the show.
Yeah.
All right. So, but which coach do you go to? Let's say you've got a big test tomorrow, and you're like, I got a dentist appointment. There's something like I got to leave practice early. Like, do you go? What coach do you go to? And you're like, oh man, I need a favor over here, but from one of them.
Definitely Coach Hill to ask for advice on how to tell Coach Kayla.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Ladies, let's finish up with this last question. I kind of already asked it, but I'm going to circle back and do it again. I just want you to finish this sentence. For Temescal Canyon to make a run to the CIF championship, the softball team needs to do blank. And Coach, I can start with you and we'll just go around the horn, but what do you think? Temescal Canyon needs to blank to win a CIF championship.
I think needs to trust each other and pass the bat. They're very capable of it. I know it's a little longer than blank, but they are very capable of it. So putting all the components together, pitching, defense, and hitting, once they pass the bat and trust each other and know from within that they could do it, they can do it for sure.
All right, good stuff, Coach. All right, Jessenia?
I'd say play as one, kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, and Nia?
Agreed. I think we should all play with confidence and with trust. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, ladies, congratulations on a great regular season. I know there's some unfinished business out there for you still as we go into the CIF Southern Section playoffs. First round opener in D2 against the Aquinas Falcons from San Bernardino. Temescal Canyon softball here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Inland Sports.
All right, good stuff there from the Titans. Aquinas versus Temescal Canyon in the opening round in Division II. That is one of the better matchups we have here in the opening round. I think it's going to be a great game. As we look at the Division I softball bracket, you'll notice Murrieta Mesa is the top seed. Norco is number 2, opposite sides of the bracket. So if Murrieta Mesa and Norco met, it would be in the finals. And it looks like they're on a collision course to meet for the championship. But that Division I bracket is brutal in the southern section. One of our Ken Sporting Goods must-see games this week. It's on the softball diamond. Murrieta Mesa gets the top seed, and they will take on Valley View from the Ivy League. Valley View's had some good seasons, and they're always a tough out. It's a tough first-round matchup for Murrieta Mesa, but the march to a Division I championship begins on Thursday, tomorrow, against Valley View for Murrieta Mesa, one of our Ken Sporting Goods must-see games. So for Norco and Murrieta Mesa, again, you've got to get through a tough bracket to get to the finals if you're going to see one another. And at least for the Rams, it's going to start with an all-local game. Valley View from Moreno Valley taking on Murrieta Mesa, opening round in Division I. Now for baseball Division I, they already had their first round, and it's tough. We had 4 local teams. Corona and Norco both picked up 1-run victories in their first game in the Division I bracket. Corona beat Etowanda 5-4. Norco, who is the number 1 seed, holding off Maranatha by a score of 8-7. The Cougars walked them off last night at Norco High School. Temescal Valley lost to Huntington Beach 11-0. And our friends at Santiago, they were taking on Orange Lutheran, which is tough, man. Olu's really good. Olu, the number 2 seed, I believe, behind Norco, they beat Santiago 3-1 the final score. So we'll keep tabs on that Division I bracket. It is tough. Now, Norco got a number 1 seed in Division I. We had one other local team in our Inland Sports Show coverage area to get a number 1 seed. That's in Division 5. And that's where we find... Try that again. Let's see. That's where we're going to find Citrus Valley taking on Paloma Valley. That was our Ken Sporting Goods must-see softball game. Here's our must-see baseball game. Citrus Valley, number 1 in Division 5, and they are taking on Paloma Valley on Friday in the opening round. Citrus Valley won the Division 5 championship not too long ago, 2021. That was that weird late season coming out of COVID. Remember, I think the championship game was like the end of June. I was out there at Long Beach State, and Citrus Valley beat Cajon in that Division 5 championship game, an all-CBL final then. CV, number 1 in Division 5, and they open up against Paloma Valley, who's really good out of the Ivy League. That's a tough opening round game for both those teams. Tough draw for a number 1 seed playing a good Wildcats team, and that's our Ken Sporting Goods must-see baseball game this week. So we got some really good ones right out of the gate in the opening round. We mentioned Temescal Canyon versus Aquinas softball, Murrieta Mesa against Valley View softball, and of course this one, Citrus Valley and Paloma Valley on the baseball diamond in Division 5. So Division 1 baseball, they are off and running. Their first game's already under their belt, and then for basically everybody else, Thursday and Friday would be the opening round, although I think Orange Vista softball is playing Rosary Academy today in their opening round game on Wednesday. So, but most everyone will get the party started Thursday and or Friday. So it's going to heat up now as those championship runs begin. All right, we're going to take another quick break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, your CIF Southern Section Division 4 boys swim champion Aquinas. We're going to check in with the Falcons. We got some CBU softball and baseball as well right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, number 1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student-athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. Visit bassathletics.com. Paul Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
Fact versus fiction. Youth athletes need sport-specific training in order to develop speed, agility, and strength. The fiction is that you see all of these kids doing sport-specific strength and conditioning, doing exercises they can't quite handle yet, and they don't need to, because all they need to do is get stronger, build core strength, learn how to jump and land, learn how to run, learning how to squat, learning how to press. Those skills are foundational for most sports. It doesn't need to be sport-specific quite yet.
Over to the Stanley Cup playoffs, man. Ducks fever is alive and well. Patrick, I was one of those dummies battling the 91 freeway traffic on Mother's Day through the IE into Orange County. It was an absolute mess. But I saw a ton of Ducks flags everywhere on these cars along the 91 freeway. Ducks fever is alive and well. They won Game 4 last night at the Pond. 4-3. It was a wild finish, actually, against Vegas. 4-3 was the final score. So that playoff series, what would that be? The Western Conference semifinals is now even at 2 apiece.
I'll be honest, I do not watch hockey during the season, but damn it, playoff hockey is completely different. My kids and I watched Vegas and Anaheim absolutely duke it out. It was a great game. And yes, I was also one of those poor souls who battled that 91 because the wife has family that lives right there in Anaheim, and flags were everywhere. I can attest to that. They were all over the place, and I love it.
Yeah, that was the one bright spot. I'm like, man, here I am sitting in this traffic, literally sitting there. We weren't moving. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, there's a Ducks flag, and there's a Ducks flag. So people are behind the Ducks. That's awesome to see. Again, they were the worst team in hockey just a couple seasons ago. All right, let's talk some Dodger baseball, man. It was a battle of the top teams in the National League, and the Atlanta Braves took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. The Atlanta Braves are the real deal. They won 7-2 on Sunday. They also won on Saturday, and I'll point this out. Blake Snell made his season debut with the Dodgers. He was originally scheduled to make a rehab start with Ontario again on Saturday, but they brought him up. They brought him up on Saturday to the big leagues. He made his season debut, but he gave up 5 runs in 3 innings, and the Braves also won that game. So Atlanta wins the series against the Dodgers to show, kind of flex their muscles a little bit, right? And show that they are the best team in the National League right now.
And I know Pep and I say this all the time, look out for the Padres or this other team, but we have seen this kind of coming with the Braves.
All right, hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. All right, let's go back to swim. If you missed the beginning of the show, we had Kaylee Richmond from Murrieta Valley, your 50 free champion in the Division II CIF Southern Section Championships. Our only team champion was Aquinas Boys in Division 4. We're going to have a lot more on the Aquinas Boys swim team this week on Sports Weekly. But here's a little sample. We caught up with Lauren McCoy, the head coach of the Falcons, as well as one of his top swimmers, a junior, Owen Bondeman, talking about the success and the championship for the Falcons this season.
I'm proud to bring something that wasn't here in San Bernardino to San Bernardino. I'm proud of the young people who did that for the community they live in, and I'm thrilled that these young people are contributing to San Bernardino in this positive way. And what I'm most happy about is that we're getting recognition thanks to you and your group and others. This kind of notoriety really helps us a great deal in showing people what kind of positive development we're bringing to San Bernardino. So when you consider those things, it makes you feel that much better about what you've done as far as winning a CIF championship. So it's not just the plaque, it's all that goes into bringing that, but it's the contribution that comes after the plaque. And to be a team that has no pool, a school that has no pool, and at the same time develop do what we've done, it's not only a great feeling accomplishment, it's a great feeling of amazement.
I mean, it was everything. All of the hard work over 3 years culminating to this. A lot of faith that we've put in this team, put in our coaching. I mean, it's been really great. The success that we've had just this season alone has been really great leading up to this victory. So I'm really, really happy with all the work that we put in and the outcome. I think there is something good to pressure because you know that people are expecting great things from you. And I think we kept a healthy balance of confidence but also humility, like Coach Lauren says. Always stay humble. And I think when we went out there at CIF finals and we went out with a bang and we won our medley relay by 3 seconds, that really set the tone. And after that, all of us were confident, like we were ready to take on all the other events, and we were confident that we could win.
Sports. All right, be sure to look for more on Aquinas boys swim and Regina Estrada Maravilla, their star swimmer on the girls' side this week on Sports Weekly on IEMG. All right, let's talk some softball because California Baptist University is your WAC champion. Final year in the WAC, and the Lancers go out on top. They won the Western Athletic Conference Tournament Championship, which is that automatic ticket to the NCAA tournament. And now the Lancers will go to the Los Angeles Regional, and they will take on a mighty UCLA, who, remember, the Bruins paid a visit out to Riverside to Funk Stadium about a month ago. CBU gave them all they could handle, but UCLA did get the victory. I think it was 14-6, I want to say was the final score. But now they get another crack at UCLA. Cal State Fullerton and the University of South Carolina will also be at the Los Angeles Regional. But for CBU, they will open against UCLA on Friday night. So best of luck to the Lancers. And the Lancers baseball team, well, they picked up a signature victory on the road at 25th ranked UC Santa Barbara. And they had a couple guys go deep in this one. Connor Ross right there, he went deep. And then later, boom, opposite field blast. Cole Howarth, right field and gone. They beat the Gauchos by a final score of 8-3. And again, UC Santa Barbara was ranked 25th in the nation at the time. CBU will wrap up the regular season on the road with a 3-game series at UC Davis. And then next week, they'll try to join the softball team by winning the WAC. They're going to be at the WAC tournament in Arizona beginning next Wednesday. So beginning tonight, 3-game series at UC Davis. And hopefully the Lancers will be riding some momentum, some confidence after that huge win against 25th ranked UC Santa Barbara on Monday night. All right, that's going to do for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. You just heard from Aquinas Boys Swim, Temescal Canyon Softball. Thank you, ladies, and Kaylee Richmond from Murrieta Valley Swim. Appreciate the time. Thank you for hopping on the show. And if you've made it this far, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. We're also all over social media, mostly on Instagram and X. We still do Facebook a little bit, and of course right here on YouTube. And if you're a local business or organization, you like local sports and you want to help us share these positive stories here in the IE, hit us up. inlandsportshow@gmail.com is the email, and you can be part of our local sports community. All right, my name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.